Hello students, welcome back to my channel Learn Dentistry. Today we will be studying the part 2 of Anatomy and Physiology of GIT. The part 1 has been already uploaded. Before starting, please like and subscribe to my channel and video so that you can know whenever a new video is uploaded. In this video, we will be studying about the absorption, defense mechanism and immune system and immune response of GIT. In absorption, we will be studying about carbohydrates, fats, water and electrolytes and minerals. So, starting with the absorption. Digestion is a process by which larger molecules are broken down to smaller molecules so that they can be absorbed. Now, what is absorption? Absorption is the process of transport of digested material. The material which has been digested is transport across the intestinal cells. The digestion is initiated by the mouth, propagated by acid and pepsin of stomach, which is continued by upper intestine, primarily by pancreatic enzymes like amylase, lipase, and trypsin. Now, the absorption is that process in which the digested material is transported across the intestinal cells. Now, the digestion is already initiated in the mouth, which is continues in stomach by acid and pepsin, and then in upper intestine by, primarily by pancreatic enzymes like amylase, trypsin, and lipase. Now, which these break down the carbs into mono and disaccharides. Proteins are break down into peptides and amino acids, and fats into monoglycerides. These are the end products and are transported across the intestinal cells. Now, the small intestine is 12 feet long, plus it has the microvilli on the surface to increase the absorption area. Nutrients are absorbed either by passive diffusion or active transport into lymphatics. Fats goes to lymphatics or into portal circulation, that is carbs and fats. Now we will be studying about the specific nutrients each, like carbohydrates. Starting with the carbohydrates, dietary carbs like starch, lactose, sucrose are digested by saccharidase to glucose, galactose, and fructose. Now, glucose and galactose is absorbed by active carrier mediated energy dependent protein, and fructose is absorbed by passive diffusion. Moving forward to fats. How fats are absorbed? First, the fatty acids and monoglycerides are emulsified by bile salts to micelles. Fatty acids enters the epithelial cells and link to triglycerides. Then triglycerides combine with protein inside the Golgi bodies of chylomicrons. At last, chylomicrons enters the rectal and transported away from the intestine. Studying about proteins. Proteins are hydrolyzed by gastric pepsin and then by pancreatic enzyme. First, the protein are hydrolyzed by gastric peptin. Then secondly, it is hydrolyzed by pancreatic enzyme, where in small intestine to form peptides and amino acids. From protein is hydrolyzed and is converted into peptides and amino acids. Then further, hydrolysis of peptides occurs at brush border of small intestines by interstitial dipeptidase, and ultimately a mixture of peptide and amino acids are absorbed in cells. which enters the portal veins radical to enter blood circulation. What about vitamins? Vitamins are of two types, fat soluble and water soluble. Fat soluble vitamins like A, D, E, K are incorporated into micelles and then absorbed by passive diffusion mainly into proximal jejunum. Now folic acid. Folic acid is absorbed by active process throughout the small intestine. The fat soluble is mainly absorbed by passive diffusion where in proximal jejunum, and folic acid is absorbed throughout the small intestine. Then vitamin B12 is bound by gastric intrinsic factors and travel down to terminal ileum where B12 binds to a specific receptors and is absorbed. Now for vitamin B12 there are specific receptors present and they are bounded by intrinsic factors, and they then travel down up to terminal ileum where they have specific receptors from for B12 and are absorbed. Water and electrolytes. Each day 9 liters of water and 800 mmol of sodium enters the GIT and are absorbed from jejunum, ileum and colon. And finally, only 150 ml of water is excreted in stools. In small intestine, the colon in is active transport mechanism for absorption of sodium and chloride and water accompanies the movement. In colon, fluid content of ileum are converted into semi-solids. Now, the contents which were fluid in colon in ileum, these are converted into semi-solids. Cells of SI, that is small intestine, also secrete some electrolytes. Okay, and in case of cholera, this process is stimulated because of which more electrolytes are secreted, which results in cholera. Now, the last topic for this video is defense mechanism and immune system of GIT. So, epithelium of GI provides a barrier made up of plasma membranes of epithelial cells and tight junction between them. Now, these epithelium cells of GI acts as a barrier. These are made up of plasma membranes of epithelial cells and which have tight junctions between them, which prevent them to enter any foreign body. Whole GI is covered with or coated with mucus layer secreted by goblet cells, which reduces attrition of surface and prevents entry and colonization of microorganisms. Now, immune system response. There are humoral antibodies which are by B cells produced in response to antigens, provide protection to mucosal surface and bacterial invasion. The lymphocytes perform specific cell mediated immunity functions. There are two, that is humoral antibody by B cells and lymphocytes perform specific cell mediated immunity functions. So here's we end with the whole chapter of anatomy and physiology of GI. Thank you for watching my video.